What's going on, y'all? It's your girl Amaya Desire, and of course, the one and only.
Denny C23. How y'all doing, man?
What's going on? What's going on? I'm excited to be back. I feel like the season has just been going, and this episode is a packed episode. So y'all already know what it is. We're back. Another review for Big O Bell Media, Reasonable Doubt, season 3. This is episode 7 called Lost One, and again
Man,
titling these episodes with the songs that fit the scene
listen,
very, very well.
listen. My favorite episode of the season so far, and the title
Yeah.
being Lost Ones, Jay-Z Kingdom Come album was one of my favorite albums. So that was even doper to me. Down that I even know, like, that's the name of it. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, you put it
So
together.
yeah, you put it together like this. It matches everything. The cinematography, everything was just so great. This episode, yes, y'all left it all on the film, on the screen, on the whatever y'all call it. Like they did that. Shout out to
Yeah.
all of them. Like this is a great freaking show, guys.
Well, let's jump in. We have a lot to cover for this episode, and I will say it's probably my second favorite because I really did like the last episode. Um,
Really?
but it's a very good point to be in, considering that we more than likely have a 10 episode season. And so
Right.
for us to have 3 episodes left to go, I mean, man, it's really ramping up. It's taking us on a journey. And in this particular episode, it does that. And like you pointed out, the cinematography beautifully done with the flashbacks, getting to see a younger Jax and a younger Mama Lou. So
Right.
last
Younger Eddie.
episode they say it again.
I say younger Eddie. Like we got to
Oh
see,
yeah.
yeah, just that dynamic. I didn't even know Eddie was in her life as long as he was before going away. To be
Oh
honest.
no, yeah. I mean, that when you hear back the stories when Mama Lou tells it, right, you know
Hmm.
that he was around, but as a kid, there's certain things that you don't necessarily remember, or it just doesn't like seem like a big deal to you. And I
Right.
love that they showed how the past impacted the future, and those things that she's currently going with, going through now.
Right.
So of course they dropped the bomb on us last episode 6, that Mama Lou had cancer, right? We didn't know what
Right.
kind of cancer. And we found out she has stage 2 colon cancer. And apparently, although I now know we all have heard of cancer before, right? Usually when you hear like stage 3, stage 4, it's aggressive. But colon
Right.
cancer is a different kind of beast. And what the doctor is saying in this particular episode is that stage 2C colon cancer is one of the more aggressive forms of colon cancer. And so I will say that I found it's so weird. We last episode we got to see Lewis inner kid, right, with his parents, and now we're seeing Jax's inner kid with her parents, and the way that she like
Mhm.
responds to Eddie. Like what do you think about that in terms of this whole first
Mhm.
scene with Jax, Eddie and Lewis?
I feel like Jax's crash out versus Lewis's crash out hits a little different. Because with
Mm,
Lewis's crash out, it it was a bit of immaturity there, as far as like his realization of his parents are regular people too. They have their own life and have their own relationship, you know. But when it came to Jax and Mama Lou, I think Jax was genuinely hurt. Like, this is the only parent she's known, This is the
mm,
only person who's truly been there for her through everything, you know? And to feel like you couldn't share this with me after you know everything about me and running me through the filth. I think that's when they realized for her, like, is deeper than the aggression or anger she felt towards Mama Lou in previous episodes and seasons that we've seen in the past. It's like, no, like this is still my mom. I love her. And in that, I think Jax had a real awakening moment of like her true feelings towards her mom, even though she's been getting on her nerves or oversharing what she shouldn't have, or sticking her business in things that probably she should have held her tongue on. But at the end of the day, that's her mom. So she was like,
I mean, I think that that's
to cut
normal
child
for
off.
most of us, right? Like
Yeah,
you don't want them to be all up in your business in ways that don't respect your boundaries or feel disrespectful to you overall as an adult child.
that's
However, like that's still your mom, right? Like you
still
don't
your
and
mom.
or your dad, depending on the relationship that you have, you
Right.
don't want to see anything happen to them. You can't imagine your life without them. You know, you and I, Tone, me backstage when we were talking about the episode as it was going on, we all were like, yo, we need to call our parents. Like, we need to call our
Nah, for
dad. You
real.
know what I mean? And that just speaks to the volume of this episode and how powerful it is. I will say, I do think that I don't want to take away from Lewis. I think his feelings were genuine. When you
Yes,
have a certain view of your parents, right? It's not what you think it is. Now you're like, oh wow, like this is a facade or is it fake? And I think he took that
mhm,
to heart. But I will say that I probably learned this maybe like 10 years ago, which it's still something that I carry with me to this day. There was an exercise I did at a workshop and they tell you to picture your parents, right? Their parents are not in the room with you, but like picture your
right.
parents, whether they're still here or they passed on. And now peel back the layers and imagine them as young as you are right now sitting in this chair. And then what they say is your parent is just a person, right? And I think that that's something that we have learned as we get older. And for me, for sure, I just realized like, yo, they are people who just had the responsibility, additional responsibility of taking care of us. You know what I mean? And
That's a
I'm not a
fact.
parent yet, but I would assume that it's a great responsibility. It's a hard and a heavy responsibility.
I am a parent,
Um,
and it's hard as hell. Okay,
yeah,
and
yeah,
I think even as a parent, like you have to understand, like as you get older, I apologize to my mom like 3 times already since me being a parent because I'm like, I didn't know. I
mm,
didn't know. I had no idea
yeah,
what you was really going through on the back end, and you had to hide from me, or you had to, you know what I mean? So to experience that in the show, I feel like it's gonna hit home with a lot of people. It's gonna resonate with a lot of people who has to put on that strong face or that front for like their child or the person that they love, and to not come off as a burden or anything like that, which is even harder, especially in our community, to show like that vulnerability or weakness. I feel so
mm-hmm.
for like Mama Lou to not tell Jax, I feel like I can understand it from the parental perspective. But as Jax said, she would have told her kids. And
Yeah, but we'll get there further on in the episode, right? Let's go through these flashbacks, you know. So as we see, we get the first flashback of Mama Lou and Eddie dancing and him singing, and you know, then he's like, "Well, I can't dance with this one of my girls." He pulls Jax over, and you know, they dance for a little while. Jax goes over and she strums his guitar, and he basically tells her, "Don't, you know, don't touch my stuff," in a very harsh and
listen,
um jarring voice. And as somebody who grew up, my father is a musician, right? We got to touch it. You know,
I'm
it's
about to
three of
say,
us in the house.
has he ever yelled at you for touching his guitar?
Nah,
I,
because
that's
he
when
was
you
the type of
know
parent who
something's up.
wanted us to be in music. So like
Right.
it just didn't, you know. So it
Right.
was
That's
very
what I would think
jarring.
too. That's what I would think too. I would think if you play an instrument, if you do anything creative, you would want to pass that on to your child. So your child being inquisitive about it, you will want to embrace. So the fact that he acted like that, I knew it was drugs behind it. I just said,
Well, you
oh,
know, it could also be a very expensive. I'll say that. Like I knew which guitars to touch and not to touch, right? Because some of them was very expensive.
man,
Um, but I definitely did think that Eddie's reaction was totally uncalled for, and
that
you
was
definitely
hard.
knew something was up. And so watching him like um basically pull the cocaine out, you know, doing what he did, and then Jack's
Right.
finding out and
It seemed
seeing him,
like
and
just witnessing that is crazy.
yeah,
Like, first of all, you just yelled at me crazy. I'll go in the room for 5 minutes, come back out, and you over here. I'm sorry, baby. Daddy didn't mean to yell at you. Had to take his medicine.
yeah,
Like, get the hell out of here, Cokie.
yeah.
Eddie, you
Yeah,
piss me off, man.
I mean,
Piss me
hey,
off.
listen, I don't know what it's like to have a drug addiction, and kudos to the people who
Same.
have come through on the other side, right? Because that it's no joke. I know friends who have come out on the other side, and for sure, just being there to support them and watching the relapse or like things like that. I don't know that experience, but definitely turns you into a whole nother person. So we see this happen, and instantly I'm just like, the blatantness of it to me was just crazy because you're putting your child in jeopardy, right? Like, because
Right.
if she thinks it's candy, right? What's to say she's not gonna try to just go in daddy's guitar case and pull
Well,
that
he called it
cocaine out
medicine.
and try to do it?
He didn't say it
Oh
was
well, yeah,
candy. He said it's medicine. So
yeah.
hopefully she's just not going around taking people medicine, okay? Because then
I
that's a bigger problem
mean,
going on
that
there.
is a bigger problem. That's the bigger
I'm
problem.
just saying. But he
Yeah,
did he did say that's daddy's special medicine. However, why are you doing the special medicine in front of your child on a
yeah.
guitar? Like you living that rock star lifestyle in the house, and I ain't like that. Especially because you tried to come for Lewis that one time, saying you ain't bring your stuff through the crib, and it's given. Yes, you did.
Yes, you
You really?
did. Just
Yes,
that
you did.
it wasn't remembered by Jax, I
Right,
guess in particular, to really share it with Lewis.
right.
So
So
yeah. But that was mad crazy. So as we progress in the episode, Mama Lou decides to have the surgery. I'm not gonna lie to you, right? Like my mom definitely had to have surgery once. And I was like, yo, the second opinions, the needing, you know what I mean? Because like I
so
don't
you
play,
agree?
you know what I'm
She should
saying?
have got the second opinion.
My Mama Lou, absolutely. And here's the thing, right? I'm not gonna say that there aren't. Listen, there are plenty of good doctors. However, I reside on the side of I'm always gonna get another opinion, especially from somebody who looks like me, right? Because doctors really be I guess for real, I think they've scared I know they've scared me. I've
Okay,
heard horror stories as far as the news is concerned and things of that nature
right.
with doing unnecessary surgeries or not taking care because the patient is black and things of that nature. But just for peace of mind, I feel like you should always have like a second opinion, because at least if you get the same second opinion, all right, well, this person ain't, they're not like
Yeah,
pulling my finger.
they're not trying to get
And
over the
surgery,
order.
especially at that age, mad risky. You feel me? Like it's just, so for me, it's just I listen,
Listen,
I want to make
sometimes,
sure.
listen, I feel Jax just found out and she was trying to take over the reins. Relax. She's been dealing with this for a while now. Whatever you thinking of right now, I'm pretty sure she's already thought of and then some. So how about
But
you
she
take a
didn't
step
know.
back? How do you know? You
She
Jax didn't
did.
ask any questions.
She literally said, "I don't want a second opinion." So if you
She
don't
said,
want it, so that means
I don't need to go nowhere else. She said, I've chosen my doctor already because she's already vetted
exactly.
other doctors probably. Like that's the thing.
She didn't say
Jack
that
didn't
though.
ask, but did no one ask that question? No one's gonna just volunteer information when they didn't volunteer
Well,
you this information in
but
the
the
first
doctor
place.
said it. The
You
doctor
gotta
said it though. The
understand.
doctor said it. He
Said what?
said that no. He said what he said. This is my diagnosis. This is my suggestion for the surgery. This and the third. While I do think that most people want to get a second opinion or whatever. This is not a wait and see kind of situation,
Situation. Right.
but right, and that's not a wait and see. It's a getting a second opinion to make sure that the first opinion you got is a good one, right? So I think that Jax did what I would have done naturally, which is, and I mean, I guess I would have asked. I don't feel like maybe Jax didn't ask, but
No,
I'm
she
like,
did.
can we get a second opinion? But
Not
yeah, I
even
don't
can we
know.
get a
I don't
second
know if I
opinion?
would
Like
have.
how have you vetted this doctor? How did you come across this doctor? Blah blah blah.
Um,
Ask these questions because listen, he's the one who's performing the surgery, right? So I need to understand your knowledge of this person so I can see why you feel so comfortable with this person performing the surgery. Jax didn't do none of that. She went there, sat there, heard the diagnosis, and then said, "Nah, clip." We don't know you. We don't know your credentials. I understand getting a doctor that's more like us, but at the end of the day, I want the doctor that's gonna do it right.
Yeah, I want the doctor's gonna do it
You
right
know,
too. But
I don't
I
care
think
if
when
that
you talking
doctor
about
look like me,
surgery,
don't look like me. If that guy, I
when
want that doctor just
listen,
sent by God to say, save this man's life, save this
when
woman's
you
life,
talking about
save this child's
surgery,
life.
they always gonna tell you a second unless you going in there you went in there through the emergency room, then by all means knock yourself out. I'm walking in on my in my able body and
Right,
I got to talk to you. Nah, we going to get a second opinion for sure. And I think that that's part of the reason why
yeah,
Jax was pissed off was because when you do take I have not experienced that, right? Like me and my mom are close with her. I'll talk to her, we have the conversation. But I just think that when you're doing that type of thing, given the opportunity to have more access, right? I get
mhm.
Mama Lou was trying to protect her, maybe and all that jazz, you know what I mean? But still, like a conversation could be had. But she basically like Mama Lou is
So,
set
so
on
you
it. She
feel,
decides like
so
this
you
is
feel
what she's
that's why
doing.
she gave, do you feel that's why she gave Eddie the power of attorney over her because Jax was
Absolutely.
too close, too emotional?
Absolutely. That's usually how it goes. If you know, if you've done anything, and I have, right? If you've gone through the paperwork of what power attorney looks like, you do want the person that's going to be able to make the most non-emotional choice because it is something that you're asking for. DNR is not something to play about, right? Like that's
Right,
hard in the paint. That's like let me go. I'm good. I don't want to be a vegetable. Don't resuscitate, intubate, all that other stuff.
right.
And I think that
I
Eddie
respect that.
was, yeah, I mean, I think Eddie was a good choice. I think that there was a conversation to be had. Jax is not. I I think that the problem lies in not having the conversation with Jax. And
That's
by
a fact.
yeah, I get you wanting to, you know,
Listen,
protect your child and all, but yeah. So I
at
think
some
that,
point, yeah, you got it. You
yeah,
got it.
having a conversation. So
Right.
the whole thing with Eddie and even Jax approaching Eddie, right, and being upset and telling, going down, yo, she treated that dude like he was somebody off the street. She was ready to ride. I feel like if she was a boy, like she was a son, she would have tried to box with her dad at,
Yo, I'm
at
not
the
gonna
moment.
lie. I'm not gonna lie. That's definitely the energy she gave off. Where she was like, "What? What are you talking about? Like, why would she give it to you? Like, who are you? Like, I've been here. You not like." And it's so crazy how like much projection she was giving off in that moment. Then we get the flashback of her in the park with the kids at the playground, and like she's
Yeah.
playing. And we got the mirror, and it's like, yo,
Cutting up lines of
cutting up
candy,
lines of candy is crazy.
but first of all, I mean, listen, maybe that's that error. Because I have never mimicked anything I seen and it's crazy because I was literally thinking
Ah,
about it. I'm like, I don't think I've ever mimicked something I seen my parents do and like took it to school, like that, or took it to the playground, or took it anywhere outside of the house. I just, it was mad interesting to see that happening and
right.
to know that Mama Lou confronted Eddie, to tell him like, listen, you're gonna end up on the
On the
street. You keep
streets,
playing with
right?
this stuff, and doing this around our daughter. Um, and it just wild, 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 and crazy. The
Yeah,
childhood that she's is showing us
right.
is nuts.
The trauma in this episode is so like in your face, but it provides so much depth, I feel, to the character Jax and why she's so empathetic towards so many of her clients. I feel like now, even for me, just to see like to see how her interaction with her dad was, how she was so in love with her father, and then one day he just wasn't there,
Hmm.
and then to for him to pop up now and then think everything is just gonna be, and now my mom gives you power of attorney after you not being there. How does she think that you will make the right decision when you made the decision to leave? Like, it's like so much built up resentment, I feel like, that we got to see in this episode and see
Yeah,
where the trauma kind of started from, which I really like that they gave us. Again, great
yeah.
freaking episode, my
Well,
favorite episode, man.
yeah. Well, I'm grateful that they are taking into consideration. Well, Jax is taking into consideration what she's experienced, and she does not want to pass that on down to Spencer and Naima. And
Yes.
instead of, waiting like they did last time, they agreed to bring Spencer home, and they're like, hey, we want to talk to you, and we want to let you know what's going on. They have the
Right.
conversation. The kids get a little emotional.
But Spencer saying it better not be another baby walking in had to be the funniest moment, yo. Like
Listen, dark humor, I get it. Sometimes it's needed because
the dark humor he's like, listen, that's how I cope. I said, you know what, Spencer, I'm not even mad at you. It's not even too soon because they should have been got it over with. It should have been something y'all
listen,
talk about.
I respect it, and I'm glad to
Right.
see them doing that because I'm a true believer of communication between parents and children when they're young and in the stage of having to develop trust is what leads to having better relationships down the line when they become adults. So love to see this and very happy to see the family together. Um, of course, we also see that Jax asks Mama, and I don't want to skip through this because we did forget. This episode opens with the scene that opened in the very first season premiere, which is somebody on the floor, right? And for me, Jax is asking Mama Lou to stay with them, and
Oh
that
man.
is, I don't know, it's my prediction that it's going to be Mama Lou because I feel like they gave it away. I mean, maybe they didn't, maybe they
They're
did
giving
tricking
away.
us because they've done it before,
The plot
but
twist be real.
the plot was be real. And so Jax asked Mama Lou to basically stay with them, and she agrees. And I'm super happy that Jax decided to take off time from work. Like, she's, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
it was so crazy because she's literally talking to Bill, telling him what's happening. And I love to see this side of Bill because he's really like in a supportive role. Um,
This is
but
the
yeah,
first
like,
time Bill has done something that made me like, all right, Bill, maybe you're moving in the
mhm.
right direction for real. You got some type of moral compass here.
Listen, I mean, I never doubted that he did. I just doubted that I didn't know what he was going to do because sometimes for some people, power and elevation and success like overrules everything else. And so love to see him support her in this moment and be like, yo, take time off. We could ask for a continuance. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
your family needs you. And that was really cool. And we see Jax talking to Lewis about like all the things that she has to do, and also like
Right.
throwing Autumn this baby shower and all these things, right? So
Do you think she should have
again,
went through with the baby shower?
I think that she could have handled it off, right? Like
Right.
Sally, Chanel,
Right.
yeah, like, or at least lean in for support so that way she could have took a moment and take a breath to be like, all
Right.
right, So, as we proceed to go through all
Tone
these
said
things,
Sally ain't got no house, so how she hosting?
oh, I mean,
She gonna host in
this
her
this is
apartment, Tone.
true. She could host at Jack's house. Jack's could go to her apartment. You know what I mean? Like, hey, listen, swap. Make it make sense. Um, so of course, we're still getting a lot of these flashbacks, and this one in particular we get, which is Eddie banging on the door, and
Right.
Mama Lou having decided that she's not letting him back in.
Oh my
Jax
god.
comes out in the living room. She tells Jax, we're playing a game like hide and seek. What if I let dad in? That means I lose. I need you to go back to your room. First of all, shout out to parents, bro, because parents
Yo.
really be innovative on the spot. Okay,
Spot.
on the spot. Literally was like, we're playing a game like hide and seek. And if I open the door, mommy loses. Now, in your childlike brain, you can understand that, right? You still might be trying to figure out why daddy outside, but like, you can literally understand that. You know
Man,
what I
right.
mean?
Like that was
I
crazy.
It
The
was.
manipulation in order to protect your child is so like ah like it's
Yeah.
heartbreaking to see in real time. And he looking through the window like, I see you, baby. Open the door for daddy. And I was like, yo, that's creepy, bro. That's
That man
creepy.
is, yeah. It was
Yo, I'm
definitely
not gonna front.
creepy.
Well played by that actor, man. Whoever he may be, like he did a great job playing young Eddie because he gave so much in that role. Like I really feel like he he gave off the soft side. He gave off the crazy. He gave off, you
Yeah.
know, and I
And,
really appreciated that because looking through that window saying, "Come on, baby girl, open the door for daddy." Like that was crazy. That
and
was crazy.
it was crazy. And shout out to one of our viewers who was like him and Eddie from Five Heartbeats, not them both being crazy. And then
Wow.
he put in the comment, he was like, nice like this. And I immediately was
Oh my
cracking
god.
up. So
First of
shout out
all,
to you. Shout out
ain't
to
he a
you.
musician? Come on. There's just too many. It's just too many. That was a stacked joke. That was a good one. That was a
Yeah,
great
it was. Definitely was. So yeah, so that's wild.
one. Right.
Very,
Just
very wild to
so
see.
oh my God, my man's. She was crawling back to the room. Like she was crawling back. She's like, I gotta hide.
Yeah,
Daddy,
yeah.
daddy, daddy gonna
But
get
she
us.
had a moment where she was gonna open that door for sure if her mom wasn't there, which we
Come
obviously
on.
see
Every
happened
kid,
again
every kid
later.
has that moment, man. Every kid has
Yeah,
that moment. Like, it's my dad, it's my mom. Why wouldn't I open the door for them? Like, I love them.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So it's like that innocence.
right.
Like, so at the like you said, she should have like passed off the baby shower responsibilities, but she didn't. And I feel
Mm-hmm.
like she started having like an anxiety attack of being overwhelmed.
Yeah.
I feel like it's Sally fault low key because that was the
No,
feather to
no, no,
break the
no.
camel's back.
Well, it wasn't that. It was Autumn and her girlfriend saying like we're gonna come and ask you for mom advice, right? Because now she's thinking about her mom, right? Not just her as a mom, but her mom.
Right.
And so I think that was the
The
trigger. Sally
trigger.
definitely the icing on the cake because her dusty ass. I'm sorry, like
Yo.
dusty and raggedy, just
She tried
raggedy as
to show
hell.
up though. Wait, I can't. All right. She tried to show up, but she had
No,
some dirty laundry too. So it was like you pulled up funky. Like you can't pull up funky. Like
no.
you got to air it out and then pull up. You feel me? You can't pull up funky.
Yeah, there was a like she could have had a conversation with Jax on the side somewhere else on the phone to let her know that she was sleeping with Billy. But like to do it in a way that it just was tacky. It was tacky. Like sorry. I mean, Mama Lou is sick. And Jax is like, yeah, thanks. I don't want to make a big deal about it. Like, how do you know? And Chanel's like, I mean,
Not
I'm
your
sorry, not
Sally.
Chanel. Sally is like,
Right.
Lewis told me, and then Jax is like, and then she's like, well, Billy told me, because like, yeah, we banging, and it's like, girl, you so tactless, like you just so
Yo.
tacky, like, and there's so
She
many
said
other penis in the world that you gotta go and smash this penis. I'm through with Sally. For at this point, they could write this character off. I'm
the way
good.
you feel about
Goodbye.
Sally is the way I feel about Lewis clearly this season because
Well,
Sally is giving all the yo.
goodbye.
She's embracing that whole line a little bit more than I thought she would be doing this season. I'm not gonna
Well,
lie.
I guess she was ready and waiting because she been married umpteen years. So now she get to let her hoe outside. But like, girl, I'm over you. So as my favorite GIF says, little girl on the slide, bye. Like, I'm good on you. Like, yeah, done.
Yo, but
Done. All right.
I will say, shout out to Chanel, man, because Jax at least has a strong friend in her. Because I feel she's the only one that Jax calls when stuff is getting real and getting heavy, and she really got to
But
let it
she's
out.
the only one that shows up in a certain kind of way too. Like for me, Chanel shows up as one of those friends who like they just know. You know what I mean? Like it's
Right.
like and even though she saw Jax in a very vulnerable moment, she just knew that there was something more than whatever was being presented at the time.
Right.
And Jax feeling safe enough to be vulnerable and share that like proves that their friendship really does like hold weight. So
I'm not gonna lie. I said this before about Chanel and Jax having a good friendship when she called her that night, and he was like, they had a 5 second conversation. You know who to call. Listen, everybody got that friend that they call and they just need that something. You feel me? And Chanel is
yeah,
that for Jax. I feel like she gets the most vulnerable Jax. She gets the most real Jax. She is the most raw with Jax.
yeah,
And I feel like I shout out to her because at her lowest, even speaking on that, like at her lowest, thought she would handle things differently, but she didn't. She went into straight mama bear mode and helping Jax navigate those emotions of understanding it from a different perspective as a mother, both of them being mothers, and if they was their children that they have, they provide that information to, what they would do. Even though Jax
Yeah.
is a bit more progressed than Mama Lou, at the end of the day, she would still have to look that in the face and be like, yo, Naima, Spencer, I have
Yeah.
that's
Yeah. I definitely love that scene in terms of Chanel saying like, by no means does this mean I'm on Mama Lou's side, but
right.
take it from this perspective. And quite frankly, this is the most selfless thing she's done for you since I've known you. You know, and that spoke volumes. So I really just love I love that scene again, back to friendship. And you know how friendship
Right.
is mad for us. So I that scene did it for me.
That was it.
This next scene was definitely powerful though, because we see Jax sitting in the waiting room, her and Eddie not close together, right? Eddie's elsewhere, she's here. She's starting to have this, she looks at him and has the flashback that her mom told her about. Remember when she was like, your dad, you were laughing at the TV and I found your dad in the kitchen with a needle in his arm. And we get to see this actual episode or the scene where um Eddie knocks on the door, right?
Jax
And
forgot they
he's
was playing
like,
the game.
yeah, Jax forgets they're playing a game. She opens the door up, says, Mom is at the grocery store. He's like, well, I got a surprise for you and
Make you a
I'm gonna make
snack.
you a snack, and I already knew what was gonna happen, right? Because I just
Right.
felt like he knew that he had a stash in the house somewhere, whether it was gonna be
That's the
actual,
only reason he came home.
yeah,
Only
which
reason.
is sad. And so yeah, he
Ah,
boils up in the kitchen
boils up is
while his
crazy.
daughter while his daughter is in there literally watching cartoons.
Yo, boils up is
And
crazy.
hey, listen, that's what he did. And so he shoots up, right, and then passes
Yeah,
out. Mom Lou comes home and
I'm
she's
not
like,
gonna
I'm gonna make you a
lie.
snack.
I'm not gonna lie. That got me so mad because as soon as he was rummaging and then did I knew he wasn't making no food after that. I knew it. I knew it. Once he did
Yeah.
this right here, that's the dead giveaway that I'm going to sleep. That's the dead giveaway. I'm going to sleep. But Mama Lou coming
Yeah.
home, finding them. I'm happy Jax didn't find him though. I don't think
But
I
she
could have
saw
handled
him.
that. She did, but she didn't find him. It's a difference.
Yeah.
It's a
I
difference.
guess so.
Because if
I
she
just
was
think
there
that
by
seeing him is
herself,
still trauma. I mean, but yeah. No, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Makes sense.
crazy. Because she could just be like, "Daddy's sleeping. He fell asleep, or he hurt himself, or something." Mama could soften the blow as if she always has, and that's like even crazier to think about. Because when he came, he said, "I have a surprise for you," and later on, we see that she asks her mom about the surprise.
Well, the thing is, even it's so crazy how like your childlike brain, your child mind works, your child brain works, right?
Right.
Basically, we see Mama Lou, she sees Eddie, obviously at this point in time, now it's like, well, this is it, it's the last straw for me. And so by this time, Mama Lou is actually in surgery, right? While these flashbacks are occurring. And
Right.
that the last flashback we see is basically Mama Lou deciding like it's time for them to move. They're gonna go stay with Auntie for a little while, and Jax is just asking about dad. Like, when are we gonna see Dad? When is Dad coming back? Where is Dad going? Where is he at? And having to say like he's sick, he's not gonna be around for a while. And she's like, okay. So then it's like, well, yeah, we're gonna move here, and then we'll see Dad. And at the time, I know 110% it's about like protection, right? For protecting your kid. And
Right.
like you said, Mama Lou finds the
She,
pick, she's
yo,
looking for something.
Mama Lou
And
deserves an award. Okay, Like I could understand now why she's burnt out with Jackson her bullshit because she had to deal with Eddie and his first,
Mm,
and
mm.
and she had to cover it up in such a way that she probably like really
Dealing
lost
with
herself.
Eddie and his BS versus Jackson her BS is two different things, though, right?
Nah,
Because
listen, let
you
me tell you. Let me tell you why I say this. Let me tell you why I say this. Because right, to be the villain to your child is sometimes expected, you know? Like, okay. But the way Jax like villainizes her mom, and it's so crazy considering all the stuff we got to see her mom do for her. You
yeah,
know
but
what
it
I
doesn't count.
Why doesn't it count?
It doesn't count. Here's why. Because as a
Why?
child, you're supposed to do those things. Like
Right,
as a parent to a child, that's your job.
right,
So those things are
right.
just things you're supposed to do as a parent. Now, when I get older and I'm telling you that your man that you brought
All
into
right.
this
That
house
that
is
part that part there, that part, Mama Lou
so
lost me.
Mama
She
Lou has been very much a blaming Jax, right? And this is we're talking about her teenage years when the season when the show first came out.
mhm,
Her teenage years, Mama Lou was blaming Jax for a lot of the things. You basically you cut that relationship when you
mhm,
don't trust me and or believe me. The other things that Jax
right.
has done in her life as an adult wasn't on Mama Lou, and it wasn't really her
Well,
responsibility.
yeah. The thing
So
with that though with Jax and Mama Lou and it- the growth between them and what they have to experience, I feel like Jax in this has realized like it's so much deeper. Like, yes, Mama Lou did not show up the best way when it came to when she was a teenager. But since that time, she's shown up as a grandmother. She's been there to console Jax and all of her BS. Like, she might not say the things that Jax want to hear all the time, but she be saying some real stuff.
it's not about, but I don't think it's about
And it's
not
like, and
saying
it's
what
like,
she
it's
wants to
about giving,
hear though.
it's about giving grace. And that's why I think this episode show is like we be beefing over the smallest things or the things that don't matter the most, and her health is on the line.
I will say that it's not about beefing over things that don't matter the most. They matter at that time. They
At
might
that,
not matter
at that
now, but they mattered at that time.
in the grand scheme of things, they don't matter. How about that?
It depends.
It depends.
It
Mm,
depends. I feel like when you boundaries, respect, those things matter. So whether it's a small thing or a big thing, like it just is what it is, right? So
I
like,
guess.
but Mama Lou has done a whole lot, and we've seen
Right.
that.
Right. I just
And
want to give her
so
the flowers for what
and
she did.
so
Right.
Mama Lou gives the pig to Jax, like she says it was from Eddie. And as we see, Jax shares this story with Eddie, and Eddie takes, the opportunity to be honest. He was like, this is about your mom protecting you from me at the time. And I didn't give you that pig, but I'm glad that you had something that felt
Something.
like it brought you closer to me. And I think that that's again, Eddie is not the best, right? But what I will say is that throughout this entire series, for the most part, with the exception of hiding whatever secret he has, he's been honest and he's been forthcoming. And
Right.
so he's not necessarily trying to push his way back into Jax's life without, I won't know. He has been trying to be pushy about it. But I also think that between him and Mama Lou, they don't respect Jax's boundaries in the way that they should, which causes issues within the family. And now, because the situation has arisen,
Right.
they have to move differently. And so yeah, so we a lot of this episode was basically about Jax and family. Of course, we have a little bit of stuff happening with the case, which is, you know, Crystal, which she works
Chris-
with Daniel
Yeah.
and Jax. Crystal is, basically Jax's secretary, finding out that Daniel was basically sleeping with Kristen, and it's like, yo, you need to tell her the truth because
That's messy.
better sooner than later, because it's a no for me, dog. And
And he
I
was
already
trying to
said
play
this.
it off. And he was trying to play it off like I'm only sleeping with her to get information, which
Yeah,
low key
bro.
is what it's shaping up to be. Because my man's is in and out of her phone, left and right.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if I feel like again, this is probably like his most, and it's not necessarily messy. It just feels risky as hell. I'll say that. It's very,
yeah,
very risky, right? He's sleeping with her. He opens. First of all, I'm finna try that. I'm about to tell my husband to, hey babe, try to open up my phone with my eyes closed because I want to know if that shit worked. Okay, first of all. Nonetheless, Daniel opens Kristen's phone by putting her phone to the face and she's clearly sleeping. Okay, does that
yeah.
really
You
work?
know what?
Nonetheless,
Like, yeah, you know what? I definitely just realized that's how it got open, and I'm like,
yes, yes,
how did he draw eyes
exactly.
on her lids or something? Like, I want to
Nah,
know.
he didn't, which is crazy. So, so opens the phone up, realizes that the text thread with Alex Hill completely empty, which is wild. Then puts the location on to share it with him. Mad risky
The fact
because,
that she didn't notice that she was sharing her location with him.
but here's the thing, right? Technically, actually, she should have. The new update shows you the location of people at the very top of the text thread. So mad weird that she didn't know.
Right.
Definitely. But nonetheless, he follows he's supposed to be meeting Alex. Alex is a no-show at the coffee shop, right? He looks at the location where Kristen is, sees that she's at the hospital, shows up at the hospital, realizes that Alex is in the ICU. And as we bring it back, you know, he goes to talk to Jax and says, like, yo, I followed her here. I've been keeping tabs on her, like you said. Alex is in the other room. They're walking over to the other room. That man is in code blue, which means he is in
On the
need
way
of
out.
resuscitation.
Yes.
And he probably is not going to make it through the night. And as we see this happening, we see Kristen on the phone talking to someone to say, like, yo,
Yo, you don't got to worry about it. He ain't gonna
you
be
ain't got
talking
to
no
worry
more.
about it.
I think she was talking to Ozzy. I think
I
them siblings up to something. I
Something
don't know.
janky.
Something janky, man. Something janky. It's either Ozzy or Monica, and I know Monica ain't do it now.
Yeah, Monica ain't jacking with him, and definitely
Yeah.
ain't jacking with Kristen. So I don't know what it is or isn't.
I didn't think that homie was gonna be beat that bad though. Like he said
I would,
he's
yeah, I would like to know what happened to him actually.
Kristen been lying since the beginning.
Yeah.
Only time she didn't lie, at least seemingly, is when Daniel was standing right in front of her talking to Jax in front of the
Mm,
house. That's the
mm,
only time she didn't lie or seemingly didn't lie. Even on the stand, her witness statement was crazy. I
trash.
I'm gonna predict Kristen is the killer,
Okay.
and her brother put the price on Wendy head. Like, yo, go take care of her. That's the prediction. What's your
That's
prediction?
interesting. I don't really, you know what? I don't have one right now. I really don't. This show has me a little bit twisted. So, but I will just I'm just gonna shout out Bill real quick and thank him for the flowers on behalf of the fake ass, firm, and him standing up for Jax. I think that he is going to. I think he's gonna get in the crosshairs of
Mm,
whatever the situation is in terms of the acquisition or the merger and whatnot. However, you know what I would like to see, and this is very far fetched prediction. I would
what's
like to
that?
see Jax and Billy have their own firm.
Wow, Jackson
I would
Billy
I
with a
I
spinoff.
would like to see Jax. Yeah, I would like to see that Jax decides that because they've been going behind her back because Billy's gonna give her the scoop, and she's gonna decide to just leave and start her own firm, and she'll take Billy with her for being loyal. So
You think
that's
you
one of my
think you think you
predictions.
think she'll take Billy? I don't know. We're gonna see.
Who knows? I
We
mean,
gotta
it's a
see how loyal
prediction.
Billy really is. Like I feel like He only stood up with her because he clapped Sally cheeks, so he felt a little sense of more loyalty to Jax in that moment.
No, I think he just felt like he sees how Jax shows up, and even though what he said was a lie to manipulate her in the beginning, in terms of like these guys could be such douchebags, and they are coming after you because you're black and you're a woman and da da da.
Right.
Like I think that even though he said it and it was just to get himself out of the hot water, he believed some of that.
Yeah.
So only time will tell, but I do think that that would be kind of cool. I think that him and Sally will absolutely keep having sex, but I feel like there's gonna be some sort of hiccup with Sally's divorce or maybe his. Like, I kind of do want to see some mess, kind of, sort of, but
with Sally got enough mess. She already lost one man house.
What
else she gonna do?
She
already lost one man house. She don't need no more mess. She don't need no more mess.
I'm also interested to see what's happening with Sam, right? At Lewis's job. This is a lot we haven't seen in the last couple of episodes.
Because I wonder what's the point of that storyline besides Lewis messing up again?
It's to give Lewis his own storyline.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's to give him a life outside of Jax, which is, I mean, I don't got no problem with it. That's cool by me.
Yeah, I guess, but I'm on Eddie's side. Your life is Jax. So, go sit down, make your little games.
Yeah, well, again, back to me saying that I think that it's Mama Lou who's on the floor when Jax goes into the room. So I do not know, but I'm very excited to see what the next episode holds.
She just went through surgery. Let's celebrate. I know that's what makes it so like, dang, it could be. They gave away.
Yeah.
Alex.
Yeah.
Alex gone.
So yeah, I mean,
Mama
cold blue, like I said, it was a cold blue with him already. So, will he make it or will he not is the question. I don't think he's gonna make it. So
I don't know. If he doesn't make it, that's gonna be crazy. But if he does make it, he's going to testify. You accuse me ever, you accuse me ever, you accuse me ever testify.
Listen, I mean, here's my thing. He already testified though. So what could now he can just change the story up or now he's gonna have to he's definitely gonna have to get protective custody, and he probably needs to talk to Jax. So yeah. But we shall see. Y'all let us know how y'all feeling in the comments. Drop the comments. Did we miss anything? What are your predictions? What are your thoughts? How you feeling about Jackson and Mama Lou's relationship? Jackson and Eddie's relationship? Jackson Lewis relationship?
Jackson the cat. That's what. Yeah.
Right.
I ain't gonna hold you. Jackson got so many damn pillars of navigating relationships and people's emotional maturity levels and. Oh my gosh. Let us know. What y'all think?
Y'all know what it is. Reasonable Doubt season 3. Okay. The finale is coming close and it's coming quick. What do you think is gonna happen? And how are you feeling about this show so far? Are you down and you ready for season 4? Like, that's what's up. Like, are you ready for season 4? Until next time, y'all, you know where to find us every Thursday, right after the episode drops. And until next time, peace.